series entitled A Fight to the Death. It comes out of Paul's second letter to his son in the gospel, Timothy. And he writes this in his second imprisonment in Rome. So he's not writing to Timothy. So when you read Timothy, I want you to understand when he says be steadfast and he says hold on, and he's writing to you in jail. He's not writing to you in the first imprisonment where he was allowed to have visitors and people was coming over bringing in chicken soup and potato salad and collard greens and black eyed peas. He's writing to you on this book from the dungeon. So what you read for what our text will be covering, understand it was in the dungeon that Paul was writing unto Timothy. It was in the dungeon. It was after he was beat with Silas. It was after he was in jail. It was after he was handcuffed. It was after he was put away for no apparent reason. It was after those times that Paul is down writing this discourse. It's 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter, the 7th and the 8th verse. 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter, the 7th and the 8th verse. Like I said, this is the conclusion of a fight to the death. In 2 Timothy, I'll read it. It says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at the day, and not me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. I want to share with you 4 quotes. The first quote is by a man by the name of Thomas Carlyle. And it says, conviction is worthless unless it is converted into conduct. Conviction is worthless unless it is converted into conduct. Victor Hugo says, the greatest happiness in life is the conviction that we are loved. Loved for ourselves, or rather loved in spite of ourselves. Franklin D. Roosevelt, he pens these words. He says, we have always held to the hope, the belief, the conviction that there is a better life, a better world beyond the horizon. And the last quote is in a book from the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. entitled The Measure of a Man. And we find this phrase in this book. He says, if a man hasn't discovered something that he will die for, he is not fit to live. It is with these quotes and Paul's final lines to Timothy that we are exposed to our thought for the day. Unwavering conviction. Unwavering conviction. Conviction that does not move at the sight of circumstance. Unwavering. Conviction that does not break or fall over or throw in the towel at the sight of the storm. When the wind blows, my unwavering conviction. My unbreakable mindset that, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Unwavering conviction. As we close this series of Fight to the Death, I realize that God's words are always on time to the people they are meant to minister to. I believe his promise is true when he said, I'll never leave you, nor will I forsake you. His word will manifest itself before you break, and you just have to watch and pray for the whole hour. This is not a time to sleep. This is not a time to throw in the towel. For the Bible said, and when you see these things come to pass, look up, lift up your head, for your redemption draweth nigh. Paul says to Timothy here, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. In order for us to come alongside and identify with Paul, we must understand some things about what Paul is talking. Paul starts off by saying that I have fought a good fight. I want you to put a pin right here because most people don't even understand that you are in a fight in the first place. You don't understand that no matter whether you enlisted You're in the fight. You were drafted as they used to have. They don't have them anymore. You have to go to the office and sign your name. But in this fight, you were drafted. I can see Job in the 14th chapter of the book of Job. It says, a man that is born of a woman is a few days in full of trouble. Psalms, the 34th division declares, it says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. Paul tells Timothy in the third chapter, he said, all those that live godly will suffer persecution. You were drafted. You were drafted. You were drafted. When you wake up in the morning, it seems like the sheets are on the floor and your covers are all over the place and your pillow is filled with sweat. You're in the fight. Every time you try to love your spouse and it seems that it was rejected, you're in a fight. Every time you try to live in peace with your sister and brother and it seems that you smile and they frown and you get ready to embrace them and they find themselves cursing you, you are in a fight. What do you do when every time you step out on the limb to make the effort of living in a state of happiness, it fails? What do you do when you stand before God and you're on your knees and you're laid out before God praying prostrate and it seems like God is not listening to you? What do you do when you are faced with these discouraging dilemmas of life? I just want you to know and understand that you are in a fight. You are a soldier in the Lord's army. I remember as a kid in Vacation Bible School, we used to sing that song, I'm in the Lord's army. I may never, march with the cavalry, shoot the artillery, fly over enemies, or ride with the cavalry, march with the infantry, and ride with the cavalry, but I'm in the Lord's army. Jesus said in John the 4th chapter to his disciples, he said, I get meat by doing the will of the one that sent me. I'm fed like you eat Burger King, but when I do the will of God, I'm fed. You might need some CC's or Little Caesars, but I'm fed when I get the opportunity to do the will of God. I need everybody in the room to understand that you are in a fight. I'm in a fight. I'm in a fight. My situation in life has never seemed this bad before. I'm in the fight. I don't even know how I got to this. We used to be cool. We used to be buddies, but now we argue. And it seemed that when we got married, I was on cloud 9, and every day was good days, and we was skipping down streets of gold, eating lollipops. But now I'm on day 25. It seems like it's all going downhill. It's not your spouse that you're in a fight with. It's something else that's going on. Yeah. You're in a fight. Because you are a soldier, you have to remember that once you really connected with God, you became a soldier on assignment. It's not you that the devil is really trying to destroy. He's trying to destroy your assignment. Your assignment in life will naturally meet up with oppositions. The enemy is threatened by your assignment. If he allows you to discover your full mission or potential or purpose in life and you start walking in your calling there is what we call an engrafted power. Power to lay hands on the sick and they have to recover. Power to speak to dead folks and they have to get up. Power to speak life into my finances and my finances rejuvenate. Power to speak to my marriage and my marriage seems like I'm on my honeymoon every day. Power to speak to my children and my children line up the word. Power is in the engrafted word of God. When I get an assignment, when I get in the will of God, when I get in the purpose of God, when I start walking according to what he's called me to do, there is an inherent power along with that. The Bible said that God has breathed in me a measure of faith. Everything that I need in my life to accomplish the things that I need to do are already here. Before the T-Model Ford ever came to existence, the steel for the Ford was in the earth. Before she ever got her first diamond ring, it was still buried deep in the earth. A lot of times we don't understand that some things have to be buried for a while in order for it to produce the effect that we desire. Yeah, I think about farmers, and I wasn't raised on a farm, but I had the opportunity to go to a farm every now and then. You think about a farm